Hey there, and welcome back to FluentCast, the podcast where we improve your English and open your mind to strange, surprising, and powerful ideas that shape our world. Today, I want to take you on a little walk. Picture it. You're strolling down a quiet street in your city, houses lined up, a tree here and there. Everything seems fine. But then you pass by one building with a broken window, just one. Maybe it's been hit by a rock or something. It's not huge, but you notice it. Then you come back a week later, and now there's two broken windows, some graffiti on the wall, a little trash near the door. The building is starting to look abandoned. No one fixed it, no one cleaned it, and something feels different. This is where today's story begins, with what's known as the broken windows theory. This theory is not just about glass or cities. It's about how little things, when ignored, can grow into big things. It's about how your surroundings, what you see, hear, and feel around you, can change the way people behave, sometimes without them even noticing. And yes, it's also about how a few small problems can quietly influence a whole community, even a classroom, a workplace, or maybe even your own habits. Ready to find out how a cracked window can change everything? Let's dive in. So let's start at the beginning. In 1982, two American social scientists, James Q. Wilson and George Kelling, wrote about something very interesting. They said, "Imagine a building with one broken window. If nobody fixes that window, people will assume nobody cares. And if people think nobody cares, they might stop caring too. They might throw trash. They might break another window. And soon, bigger problems begin." In simple words, if a place looks uncared for, people will treat it with less care. But if a place looks clean, organized, respected, people will usually respect it too. This became known as the broken windows theory. And here, broken window is a metaphor. It's a symbol. It stands for anything that shows disorder, trash, graffiti, noise, even small rule breaking. These little signs act like messages. They communicate, not with words, but visually. They say, "No one is watching, no one cares, do what you want." And guess what? People do. That's the scary part. Now, let me bring you to New York City in the 1990s. At that time, the city had serious problems with crime. It didn't feel safe. So, the police and city leaders tried something unusual. Instead of only focusing on big crimes like robbery or assault, they started focusing on small ones, very small ones. They cleaned graffiti in subway stations. They stopped people from skipping tickets. They made rules about public drinking, small things. And crime started to go down in a big way. Many believed this was because the city was changing the signals. It was no longer saying, "Do what you want." It was saying, "This place is watched, respected, and cared for." Now, this idea, fixing the small things first, is powerful. But it's not just for cities or subways. Think about it. Imagine a classroom where students leave trash behind after class. If no one says anything, that small disorder can grow. Suddenly, people stop respecting the space, they don't raise their hands, they interrupt, they lose focus. Or in a workplace, if people start coming late and no one cares, soon the culture can shift. Trust weakens, teamwork suffers. It all starts small, one broken window at a time. Now let's talk about why this happens from a psychological point of view. You see, we humans are very sensitive to our environment. We don't always realize it, but our brains are constantly picking up signals. We're always asking, is this place safe? Is this place respected? What's normal here? These signals create something we call social norms. That means the usual accepted behavior in a place. And we tend to follow these norms, not because someone tells us to, but because we want to belong. It's human nature. Now, if we see disorder, like a messy space or rule breaking, it can change our idea of what's normal. We might not break the rules right away, but we'll feel less connected, less motivated to keep things nice. That's how the broken window grows. It's a bit like what psychologists call conformity. That means we adjust our behavior to match what we see around us. If everyone is being respectful, we do too. If everyone is acting wild, we may join in, even if we don't mean to. Another interesting idea is about control. When we see disorder, our brain sometimes sees it as danger, maybe not real danger, but a lack of control. And when people feel like things are out of control, they tend to disconnect, they avoid responsibility, or worse, they give up on trying to improve things. So small signs can grow into big feelings. Now, let's turn this into a learning experience. Imagine your journey learning English as a vibrant, bustling city. You've got your neighborhoods, grammar, vocabulary, discipline, focus, constant practice, and you're building your dream home, fluency. Now, what happens if you leave a broken window in your English city? Maybe it's a grammar rule you keep ignoring, a vocabulary word you consistently mispronounce, or a simple mistake you make over and over without correcting. It might seem small at first. It's just one little crack, you think. But then, what if you see another broken window? Perhaps you skip a day of practice, or you don't bother reviewing new material. Soon, those small, ignored issues start to accumulate. That uncorrected grammar error leads to another. That skipped practice session turns into a habit, and suddenly, your once bright English city starts to look a little neglected. The same idea can be used at home, in a shared apartment, in your job, or even inside your own mind. Yes, your own thoughts can also be affected by this idea. Here's what I mean. When you leave small problems in your life, maybe a habit you know isn't helpful, maybe a task you keep avoiding, these are like broken windows in your day. They send a message to yourself. I'm not in control. I can't keep up. I don't care. And over time, that small message becomes a feeling, a belief, and then you behave as if it's true. But when you fix the small things, when you organize your desk, respond to that message, make your bed, you're also sending a message to yourself. I care, I can do this, I respect my space. That's powerful because in the end, whether it's a street, a classroom, or your own brain, the small signs matter a lot more than we think. So next time you walk down the street and see something broken or messy, think about the message it sends and ask yourself, can I do something small to fix it? Sometimes fixing one little window stops a whole building from falling apart. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend or tell us what you think on our Instagram. And by the way, if you're enjoying FluentCast and want to go even further with your English, we also offer one-on-one private lessons at Fluent English Academy. Just you and a teacher, personalized, flexible, and built around the way you learn best. See you next time, and don't leave any windows broken.